Hello children, welcome to online classes. Today we are going to study the second unit of class 6 maths, that is factor and multiples. As you know, these are a chapter which are based on number system. So let's play with number now. Now let's begin with factor. So what is a factor? A factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. Means such numbers which exactly divides a particular number, they are called the factor of that number. Now with the help of example you can understand. If we take the number 15, so now find out in which table this 15 comes. So 1, in the table of 1, if you find out 1 15 is a 15. Now 15 comes in other which 2 table or 3 table, whatever table it is coming. So 15 comes in the table of 3 and that also 5 times. That means this 15 is divisible by 3 also and by 5 also. So as you know, by the rules of factor, that 1 is a factor of each and every number, and second rule of the factor says the number itself is also the factor of that number. So 1, 3, 5 and 15 are the factors of the number 50. Or in other words we can say that 15 is a multiple of 1, 3, 5 and 15. Now you will say how factor and multiple we are relating. So they are interrelated with each other. Every factor and the number is its number is related with each other. The number is a multiple of that factor, and that factor actually divides the number exactly, so it is the factor. So they are correlated with each other. Let's understand with another example. So if you take 8, now if you see which numbers this 8 is divisible. So 8 is divisible by 1, it is divisible by 2, it is divisible by 4 and it is divisible by 8 also. So you can see here 1, 2, 4 and 8 are the factors of the number 8. So here I want to conclude this topic factor by saying few points, some important points about factor. They are that 1 is the factor of each and every number. Secondly, the number itself is a factor of itself. Now third point, that the number of factors of any number means the quantity is limited. So there are finite factors of a number. And the fourth and one more important point is that the factor of a number are either smaller than the number or equal to the number. It is never more than the number. So these are very important points of factor that you have to keep in mind. Now the next topic we have to study, that is multiple. As the name itself says, that multiples means a number is multiplied by other natural numbers. For example, if I talk about 6, the first multiple of 6 is when you multiply 6 by 1, you are getting 6. So the first multiple of 6 is 6. Now the next multiple of 6 will be multiplied by 2 and you will get 12. Similarly, when 6 is multiplied by 3, you are getting 18. So 18 is a multiple of 6. So now we can write the multiples of 6 as 6, 12, 18, 24 and so on. So have you noticed one thing? The smallest multiple of the number is itself. Means we are talking about the multiples of 6. So the smallest multiple of 6 is 6 only. And rest all the multiples are more than 6. And one more important point about multiple is that the number of multiples of a number is infinite, means it is unlimited. Now the next topic we are going to study is prime and composite number. So first of all, let's come to the topic prime numbers. What are prime numbers? Numbers which have only two factors, that is 1 and the number itself, they are called prime numbers. Or in other word, the numbers which are divisible by itself only, they are only called as prime numbers, because just now we have studied that 1 is a factor of every number. So you can see, if the number is divisible by itself only, so it has only one more factor, that will be 1, because 1 is the factor of each and every number. So prime numbers are such numbers which have only two factors. They are, that is, the number itself and 1. Some examples of prime number are 2, 3, 5, 7 and 11. 2, if you see, 2 is divisible by itself and it comes in the table of 1. So it has only two factors, so 2 is a prime number. Similarly, just go through 7. 7 comes in the table of 1 and only 7. So 7 is also a prime number because it is having only two factors. Now let's come to the composite number. So the numbers which have more than two factors, they are called composite number. So any number which is having more than two factors, means it comes in the table of any other number other than 1 in itself, such numbers are called composite number. For example, 4 if you take, so 4 comes in the table of, except 1 and 4, it comes in the table of 2 also. So it has three factors, so it is a composite number. Similarly, if you go through 9, 9 is, if you see the factors of 9, so 9 is divisible by 3, and as you know, the number itself and 1 are the factors of the number, so it has three factors, so it is again a composite number. Now one important point about prime number is that 2 is the smallest prime number and it is the only even prime number. Rest all the prime numbers are odd. Similarly, when we talk about composite number, 4 is the smallest composite number. Rest all our other numbers are bigger than them. And one more important thing about prime and composite number, two numbers are there which are neither prime nor composite. They are 0 and 1. 0 and 1 both are neither prime nor composite. So I hope you have understood the concept of prime and composite numbers. Now some more examples. See, if you see, this is a grid of numbers where the numbers are written from 1 to 100. As you know, 1 is neither prime nor composite. Now if you talk about 2, it has only two factors, so it is a prime number. Similarly, 3 also have only two factors, so it is a prime number. Similarly, 5 has two factors, 7 has two factor, 11 is also having two factor, 13 is having two factors. So these all are prime numbers, and all the numbers which are indicated in this grid, they all are prime. In this grid which are in blue color, they all are prime numbers, and the numbers which are in black color, they all are composite numbers, except 1. As you know, 1 is neither prime nor composite. I hope you all have understood. Now let's move to the next topic. The next topic we are going to study is twin prime numbers. So what is twin prime number? Twin means two. Prime number, as you know, it has only two factors. So two prime numbers are said to be twin prime if they have a difference of 2. So there is only one composite number between these two prime numbers. So for example, if I am going to say, take the number 29 and 31. So 29 is a prime number, 31 is also a prime number, and in between them only one composite number 30 is lying. So the difference between 29 and 31 is 2. They both are prime numbers, so it is twin prime number. Let us see few more examples of twin prime number. Now the next pair of twin prime number are 3 and 5. 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, and the difference between 3 and 5 is 2. Similarly, 5 and 7 is the next twin prime number. They are prime numbers and they have a difference of 2. Now 11 and 30. They are also prime number and they have a difference of 2. Similarly, 17, 19, 29, 31, 41, 43, 59, 61, 71, 73, 100, 103, 107, 109, 137, 139 and so on. These all are twin prime numbers. They have a difference of 2. Now the next topic we are going to study, that is coprime numbers. So what are coprime numbers? As the name suggests, coprime, but coprime does not mean that you have to find out you are always having prime numbers only. A pair of composite and prime number is also a coprime number. So now let us define what is a coprime number. Two numbers that have only 1 as the common factor are known as coprime numbers. Or in another definition of coprime number is, two consecutive numbers are called coprime numbers. So all the prime numbers are coprime number. If you take any pair of two prime numbers, they are coprime numbers. But if you take a pair of prime number and composite number, then also it's not necessary that it will not a prime number. It will be a coprime number. Now let's take the example. Take 35. So the factors of 35 are 7 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1. So as you know, 1 is a factor of each and every number. Now the next number we are going to take, that is 39. 39 factors are 3 into 13 into 1. And if we try to find out the common factors between them, you will get 1 there. So the common factor between 35 and 39 is 1. So it is a coprime number. Some more examples of coprime number now let us take. So if you take 2 and 3, so they are also coprime numbers because their common factor is only 1. If you take 3 and 4, then they also are coprime numbers because they also have a common factor as 1 only. So from here you can conclude that two consecutive numbers are coprime number. Either they are prime or composite. Now prime triplet. What is prime triplet? Triplet means 3 number and prime means prime numbers. So prime triplet means a pair of 3 prime numbers which has a difference of 2. Such numbers are called prime triplet, and we have only one prime triplet, that is 3, 5 and 7. If you see, the difference between 3 and 5 is 2 and the difference between 5 and 7 is 2. So 3 prime numbers which have a difference of 2, that numbers are called a prime triplet. So we have only one pair of prime triplet, that is what? 3, 5 and 7. This is the only pair of prime triplet. So understood? 3 prime numbers which has a difference of 2 or who used to differ by 2, they are called prime triplet, and its example is 3, 5 and 7. It is the only prime triplet. Now what is a perfect number? So a perfect number is a whole number, an integer greater than 0, and when you add up all of the factor, then what you will find, that the sum you will get will be equals to that number only. For example, first example is 6. Now let us find out the factors of 6. But while taking out the factors, you have to take care that you have to use only except that number, you will use other factors only. You will not use that number as a factor. For example, if you are finding out the factors of 6, you will remove the 6 from there. You will find out the rest all the factors, and if you sum them, you will get the same number there. For example, the factors of 6 are 1, 2 and 3, and as I told you, we can't take 6 here as a factor. So now if you add them 1, 2 and 3, you will get 6 here. So 6 is a perfect number. Another example of perfect number is 28. Now the factors of 28 are 1, 2, 4, 7 and 14. As I told you, we cannot consider 28 as a factor. And when we add these factors 1, 2, 4, 7 and 14, we are getting 28, which is the number whose factor we are finding out. So such numbers are called perfect number. Now one more example I am giving you. Let us take 25. How 25 is not a perfect number. So now let us find out the factors of 25. So the factors of 25 are 1 and 5, because we cannot consider 25 there, and if you sum them, you are not getting 25. So that means 25 is not a perfect number. So I hope you all have understood what is a perfect number. A perfect number is a whole number or an integer which is greater than 0, and if we find out the factors of that number, and if we find the sum of that, we are getting the same number whose factors we are taking out. Such numbers are called perfect number, and examples of perfect number are 6, 28 and 496. Now the next topic we are going to study is the divisibility test. How to check the divisibility of number? If you see a number, and by seeing a number only, how can you tell that the number is divisible by 2, 3 or some particular number? How to find out? So let's begin with the divisibility test of 2. So for divisibility of test of 2, what we used to see the last digit of the number. If the number is ending with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then they all are divisible by 2. And if the number is not ending with this 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8, then the number will not be divisible by 2. For example, let us take 28. 28 is ending with 8. That means it's an even number and the number will be divisible by 2. So 28 is divisible by 2. But if we take the number 33, the number is not ending with a even number. The number is ending with what? 3. And 3 is not a even number. So it will not be divisible by 2. So this is the divisibility test of 2. So for checking the divisibility of test of 2, what you will do? You will check the last digit of the number. And if the number is ending with 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8, then the number will be divisible by 2. And if they are not ending with 0, 2, 4, 6 and or 8, then it will not be divisible by 2. This was the divisibility test of 2. Now the divisibility test of 3. For the divisibility test of 3, what we used to do? We used to add the sum of the digits. We used to find out the sum of the digits, and then we check that whether the sum is divisible by 3 or not. And if it is divisible, then we used to say that the number is divisible by 3. And if the sum is not divisible by 3, then we say that the number is not divisible by 3. For example, let us take 12. Now let us add the digits. So when you are adding the digits 1 and 2, you are getting 3. And as you know, 3 is divisible by 3. So that means 12 will be divisible by 3. Another one more example you can see. Suppose you have taken the number 45. Now let us find the sum of the digit of 45. So 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5 is equals to 9. And if you divide 9 by 3, it is completely divisible. That means 45 will be divisible by 3. So that means for the divisibility test of 3, what you will do? You will add the digits of the number and then you will check that the sum is divisible by 3 or not. And if it is divisible, then you will write that it is holding the divisibility test of 3. Now let's come to the divisibility test of 4. For the divisibility test of 4, what we used to do is we'll take the. So as I told you, for the divisibility test of 4, what we used to do? We used to take the last 2 digits of the number and then we divide it by 4. And if the last 2 digit is divisible by 4, then the entire number will be divisible by 4. Now let us take a number. Suppose we take 24. Now divide it by 4. This number is having only 2 digits only. So divide it by 4. So 4 6 are 24. So you can see it is divisible by 4. So the number 24 is divisible by 4. Another example, 312. Now for the divisibility of test of 4, what we used to do? Last 2 digit let us take. The last 2 digit is 12. Now divide this 12 by 4. Is it completely divisible? Yes. 12 is completely divisible by 4. That means the number 312 is divisible by 4. I hope you have understood how to find out the divisibility test of 4. Now let us check the divisibility test of 5. For the divisibility test of 5, it's very simple. If a number is ending with 0 or 5, the number will be divisible by 5. Example, let us take 60. 60 is ending with 0, so it will be divisible by 5. Another example, 155. The number is ending with 5, so it will be divisible by 5. Hope you all have understood about the divisibility test of 5. Now let us go to divisibility test of 6. Now for the divisibility test of 6, we have to check whether the number is divisible by 2 and 3 both or not. If the number is divisible by 2 and 3 both, then what we will find out? That the number is divisible by 6 also. Now let us take a number 36. Now first of all, let us check whether it is divisible by 2 or not. So the number is ending with 6. It's an even number, so it will be divisible by 2. Now let us check for the divisibility test of 3. The sum of the digit will be 9 and it is divisible by 3. So since the number is divisible by 2 and 3 both, therefore it will be divisible by 6 also. One more example. Let us take the number 96. Now for the divisibility test of 2, what you will do? You will take the last digit and you will check whether it's divisible by 2 or not. So 6 is divisible by 2. So the number will be divisible by 2. Now add the digits. So 9 plus 6 give you 15. 15 is divisible by 3 or not? It is divisible by 3. That means the number 96 is divisible by 6. One more example let us take. 45. Now let us check for the divisibility test of 2. So the last number is ending with 5. That means it is not an even number, so it will not be divisible by 2. And if it is not divisible by 2, so it will not be divisible by 6 also. So clearly you can say the number is not divisible by 6. So it's a must that for the divisibility test of 6, the number should be divisible by both 2 and 3. If it is divisible by 2 and 3 both, then only it will be divisible by 6. Now, since divisibility test of 7 is not given in your syllabus, so we will not study this. Now, divisibility test of 8. For the divisibility test of 8, last 3 digits we take and that we divide by 8. And if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then we say that the entire number is divisible by 8. Now let us take the number 512. Divide. So we have to check the last 3 digits and it is having only 3 digits. So let us divide it by 8 now. 512 you divide it by 8. So 8 6 are 48. Subtract, you will get 32. 8 4s are 32. So you can see 512 is completely divisible by 8. That means 5 by 12 will be divisible by 8. Let us take one more example. 4096. Now let us check the last 3 digits. The last 3 digit is 096 divided by 8. So as you know, when you divide it by 8, so 0 you will not consider, you will have only 96. So 96 now divided by 8. So 8 ones are 8. You will left with the remainder 1. And now 16. 8 twos are 16. So what you have noticed, that the number is divisible by 8. So for the divisibility test of 8, what we used to do? we check the last 3 digits of the number. We take the last 3 digits of the number and we divide it by 8. If the last 3 digits is divisible by 8, then the whole entire number will be divisible by 8. Now the next divisibility we are going to study will be divisibility test of 9. As you have done the divisibility test of 3, similar way we used to do the divisibility test of 9 also. What we used to do? Whatever digits are there in that number, we used to find the sum of the digit. But in this only case we have to check only one thing, that the number, whatever sum we are getting of the digit, it should be divisible, completely divisible by 9 only. It should not, you should not use that it should be divisible by 3, so it will be divisible by 9 also. The sum should be divisible, completely divisible by 9. Then only we say that the number is divisible by 9. Now let us check some numbers. 712 you take. Add them. What sum you are getting? It's 10. And 10 is not divisible by 9. That means 712 will not be divisible by 9. Another example let us take. 504. Now add the digits. 5 plus 0 plus 4. It is giving you what? 9. And 9 is divisible by 9. So 504 will be divisible by 9. So you understood how to do? For the divisibility test of 9, what we used to do? We add the digits of the number and then we divide it by 9. And if it is divisible, completely divisible by 9, then only we say that the number is divisible by 9. Otherwise, we can't say like that. Now the divisibility test of 10. It's very simple. If the number is ending with 0, then the number will be divisible by what? 10. So let us take the number 90. 90 is ending with 0, so it will be divisible by 10. One more example. 1050. 1050. The number is ending with 0, so it will be divisible by 10. One more last example. 95. 95 is ending with 5. And since it is not equals to 0, therefore it will not be divisible by 10. Now, divisibility test of 11 will study in the next session. First of all, we'll study about 12 divisibility test, and then I am going to explain you about the divisibility test of 11. So first of all, let us study about the divisibility test of 12. So the factors of 12 are 3 and 4. If you write 12, 12 is equals to 3 into 4. 3 multiplied by 4. So if the number is divisible by 3 and 4 both, then only the number will be divisible by 12. So for the divisibility test of 12, what is must? That the number should be divisible by 3 and the number should be divisible by 4, then only the number will be divisible by 12. So let us take one example. The example let us take is 418. Now first of all, let us check, is it divisible by 3? So add the digits. The sum is equals to 13, and 13 is not divisible by 3, so it is not divisible by 12. Now let us take the next number, 144. So first of all, let us check whether it is divisible by 3 or not. So for the divisibility test of 3, what we used to do? We used to add the digits of the number. So when you add 1 plus 4, you are getting 9. And 9 is divisible by 3. So divisibility test of 3, it has passed. Now let us check the divisibility test of 4. So last two digit you take and just check, is it divisible by 4? So it is divisible by 4. 4 11s are 44. So since the number is divisible by 4 and the number is divisible by 3, so the number is divisible by 12 also. So for the divisibility test of 12, what is must? The number should be divisible by 3 and 4 both. Now let us study about the divisibility test of 11. Now for the divisibility test of 11 even places, if we add and if the difference is equals to either 0 or the multiple of 11, then we say that the number is divisible by 11. So let us order them. Let us begin with the back side. So first number will take as order as a odd, second one is even, third one is again odd, and fourth one as even. Now let us add the even places. So the even places are 1 and 4. 1 and 6. So add 1 and 6 there. You will get 7. Now let us add the odd places. So the odd places are 4 and 3. That is giving you 7. And its difference, if you see, you are getting 0 there. Hence it is divisible by 11. One more example. The number we are having 3729. Let's order them. Odd, even, odd, even. Now odd places add 7 and 9 and it will give you 16. Now let us add the even places also. 3 plus 2 is giving you 5. Now the difference of the odd and the even places, so that will be 16 minus 5, which is giving you 11. And since 11 is divisible by 11, therefore 3729 will be divisible by 11. So this way you can check the divisibility of 11. Now your homework is, you will do the first and the second exercise from your R.S. Agarwal book.